Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Code Man Movies. We're starting up with a picture of me in Chicago, I guess. That's not really the picture I meant to have up. But anyways, guys, another episode of Code Man Movies. Life updates, there ain't much. I'm drinking Sand Creek Hard Lemonade Lime Edition. Ooh, pretty. I can't see if I have it focus. I'm always constantly working on this, and since no one really watches this, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. This is more like a video diary for myself, for me to watch someday to show how sad and depressed of a human being I am and how pathetic and miserable I am. But hey, let's not talk about that. Anyways, guys, let's talk about movies I saw this week. Feeling a lot better. I'm still sniffly a little bit from my weird little cold, but let's talk about movies I saw this week. Let's talk about movies, the things I like talking about. And my computer's not working. Come on. There we go. First off, guys, I had a bit of a documentary week. I just wanted to watch, I got into a mood of watching just little short hour-long documentaries. This week, I watched Assembled, The Making of Eternals. The Eternals, I don't think I ever actually got a review up for this movie. I thought this movie was the worst Marvel movie ever made. It is just, well, not worst Marvel, the worst MCU Marvel movie ever made. We'll get into one of the worst later on today. But this movie was just so bland and boring. I thought it looked great. Chloe Zhao did such a... Zhao, I forget how you say your name. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm not good with names. But this movie looked fantastic. But I was just bored. I thought it was so boring, way too long. This felt like it would have been a really great Disney Plus series. And instead it's a movie that I couldn't tell you anything about any of the characters anymore. The last time I saw this movie was opening weekend. It came out November or something like that. I haven't seen it since. I do want to try watching it again at home here on Disney Plus sometime soon. Problem is it's almost a 3-hour long movie. And to watch a 3-hour long movie, I need time. Don't have that lately. So, but this is fun to watch behind the scenes things. I love bonus features. Sorry. I love bonus features and such like that. This is fun to see, especially since Chloe Zhao wanted this to be very much practical and wanted them to be filming in actual places, whereas a movie like Spider-Man No Way Home was shot pretty much entirely in Atlanta, Georgia. And that is cool. So that was really interesting to see how much all of this was pretty much shot on location. And that is awesome. It's really cool to see the behind the scenes of how they did these awesome big stunts. I love these assembled documentaries that they're doing for the Marvel shows. I think they really started doing it really with WandaVision last year. Was really the first thing they really did these assemble things for, which I enjoy. I like these little semi-short hour behind-the-scenes things. And then when you get the Blu-ray, you can also watch these other bonus features, which I don't have the Blu-ray for this movie. I will maybe eventually get it when it's Black Friday and it's cheap. But otherwise, I don't feel the need to have this one. Captain Marvel was another one I didn't get. Black Widow was one I don't have yet just because they were fine. And I don't see myself rewatching them a lot. This Phase 4 of Marvel I'm not the biggest fan of so far, besides Spider-Man No Way Home, which I will be picking up next Tuesday. I believe it comes out. We'll probably hear more about Spider-Man next week. Well, maybe not next week. In a couple weeks, because I'll get it next Tuesday. Yeah, we probably won't hear it in time. But anyways, guys, that's Assembled. I really enjoy these behind-the-scene things. It's really cool to see the on-location things. Not really going to rate this, I guess. That it's a behind-the-scenes. It's fun to watch. There's quite a few interesting details in there, like an 8 out of 10 documentary. I don't know. It's hard to rate documentaries for me. This one kept me interested. It's about a Marvel movie, so yeah. That's Assembled, The Making of Eternals. Moon Knight. Now, I don't usually talk about TV shows episode to episode. This is one I am going to talk about episode to episode because this is in the same vein of WandaVision. WandaVision, when that show came out, every week, I had a friend at the time that we would just theorize and we would talk and discuss. And this show makes me wish I still had that friend in my life, because this is something just so interesting to talk about and discuss and theorize. And where I live, movies are not the biggest thing in the world, so it's hard for me to find people to talk to about these kind of things. If I go to the bar where I'm working at, people are going to have no clue what I'm talking about if I said the name Moon Knight. So this first episode is very weird. I have no clue what's going on necessarily, but it's interesting and it's fun and it's fantastic and it's strange and bizarre. And it's just doing a lot of interesting things. I love that we don't see the actual costume until the end of this first episode. It's like the dun dun dun, tune in next week kind of thing. And I love that. All the acting in the show is fantastic. The special effects look fairly well. I love the little the pastry truck scene where they're driving and Oscar Isaac is driving that truck. A lot of interesting, exciting things in this first episode, and I can't wait for tomorrow to see the second episode. So yeah, I'm loving the show so far, and really excited to see more. And WandaVision probably has been my favorite Marvel TV show so far. I loved WandaVision. Didn't love the ending of it. Wished it had been a little bit better and not just CGI heavy, throw in your face, typical Marvel crap. But I loved everything about WandaVision prior to basically that last episode. And this show makes me really excited, and it makes me think that this could be my favorite Disney Plus show so far that we've had. So I'm really excited about Moon Knight. I don't have too much more I want to talk about this first episode. I'm not going to rate this first episode. I'm going to wait till the very end. I think it's 6 episodes we're getting with this show. So we'll talk in a few weeks about the ending of this show, and I'll keep talking up to date. I'm not going to spoil anything too much. It's only been out for a week. I want people to get a chance to kind of watch this before I really talk spoilers. But I am really enjoying this show so far. It's very interesting, very weird. I don't know what's going on, and I like that. I like not necessarily knowing what's going on. It's a mystery, and I like it. I like being able to sit and think and theorize for the next week, you know? And I know nothing about this character, so that's even more fun. I have no clue where I could go. Nothing. It's just great. I love it. Next up, I watched an Amazon original movie called I Want You Back. This movie has Charlie Day in it. I like Charlie Day as a comedian. It also has Jenny Slate. I like her kind of as an actress and a comedian as well. This is an interesting movie. These two people, they break up with their boyfriend and girlfriend, and, well, they get broken up. They don't break up. They get dumped. That's the word I'm looking for. They get dumped. And their boyfriend and girlfriend they end up with other people, and they kind of get jealous, and, well, they want them back. So they kind of meet each other and realize, oh, we're going through the same things. Let's try to get our exes back with each other. And this is a fun kind of romantic comedy, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Is it the most amazing movie in the world? No, but, the premise is interesting enough. It led to a lot of comedic moments, and Charlie Day and Jenny Slate are both just great leading actors in this movie, and it's just so much fun. Scott Eastwood is one of the people in the movie as well, and what's her name? Is it Gina Rodriguez? I think Gina Rodriguez is the other girl, and just everyone is great. Chemistry in this movie is great, and it's just a really good romantic comedy to watch. Like I said, it's nothing ridiculous. It's nothing amazing, but it's so well done in the sense of a romantic comedy that it's a nice watch. It definitely gets ridiculous at times and just things that don't make sense. It's a little too long. I think it's like, basically it's 2 hours, I believe. Could have been like an hour and a half, hour 40. I don't think it needed to go even over hour 45. Could have been shorter, that's a problem with all movies nowadays, though, really. Everything's way too long. But it's just a nice, fun romantic comedy. It's a movie I wish I had seen in theaters. I want romantic comedies back in theaters. The Lost City is doing fairly well. Marry Me did fairly well. They also put that one straight on Peacock, which was a mistake, in my opinion. But yeah, I like that we are seeing some more romantic comedies nowadays, because it's something we all can relate to. It's something that it's a good escape from our daily lives, And this was just a nice watch at home. I'm glad I watched this movie. Again, nothing spectacular. Give it like an 8 out of 10. As far as romantic comedies go, it's just very light and fun and breezy. That's a weird word to say, I think, but that's the word I'm going to use. It's kind of breezy. It's a nice, fun movie to watch. If you have a significant other, this would honestly be a good movie to watch with your significant other. If you're single, too, this is fun, too. I think this movie everyone can relate to. We all have exes. We all think back on our past and wish, maybe I should have stayed with this person, blah, blah, blah. We all can relate to this movie, and I think that's why I really like this movie. It's just a good, relatable movie. Next up is a movie I really, really related to. This movie is called Our Friend. It's based on a true story. Basically, this woman has cancer. She's told she doesn't got much longer to live. Her husband and their marriage has been a little rocky at times. And now they find out she's dying. They have a mutual friend that they had like years ago that decides he's going to drop everything in his life. He's going to move in with them to help out and to help care for her in this time of need, help out with the kids, help out with everything. And the husband, just everyone in the movie kind of finds this weird that this guy would just drop everything for his friends. And, I'm one of those people that will drop everything for a friend. I really will. I am a really, really loyal friend. If you need me, I will be there. And I will drop everything. I will say goodbye to a job. I will say goodbye to a significant other. I will say goodbye to family and move in with a friend if they need help. Even if I was married to a girl and our friend was in trouble, I would be having serious conversations with my wife and saying, hey, we need to move in with this person. We need to do what we can. Which is probably part of the reason why I struggle having relationships and friendships, because I'm very much just that friend that's going to be there and do everything I can. And this movie hit me because of that. And while it is a very depressing movie, it was just a movie that hit me. And it was a movie I really related to. It's not a movie you're going to want to watch necessarily because it is depressing. I mean, it is a husband and wife already in a rocky marriage, realizing that she's going to die and going through things of accepting this and such like that. And then having this friend played by Jason Segel who just comes in and basically lives with them and helps out. And, going back and forth, is this guy crazy or is he just that good of a person that he would do this? And I'm not calling myself a good person necessarily. I mean, I'm not a horrible person. I realize in the day I'm a good person and I am loyal and blah, 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 blah. But this is not about me. Point is, it related to me in the sense that this couple doesn't realize they need help and their friend comes in and just supports them. And I just found it very beautiful. It is a little long, I would say that. It's a little over 2 hours, I think, and it is slow at times. I think the pacing could have been done better, but at the end of the day, I really, really enjoyed this movie. Just absolutely fantastic, I think. Beautifully acted. Technically, it's fantastic, and I really related to the story, in particular, Jason Segel's character and love where it went. I loved how it showed the growth between people, and just it showed a picture of life between people that are good people. I think everyone in this movie is a good person, which has made it even better to watch. But it also showed that they're not flawless, and they have problems, and they need to do these things to fix these problems. And I really liked that. So yeah, I really highly recommend this movie. Again, it's depressing. It really is. It's about a woman who's dying. There's no sugarcoating that. But it is a really good movie. It's on Amazon Prime right now. I give it like an 8 out of 10. I just really did like this movie. Probably not watch it anytime soon because of how depressing it is, but it is beautiful. And it says right on the poster there, beautiful, the film the world needs right now. And the world does need a movie like this. I don't get political at all, but like, I feel like we live in a world that we're all just so angry, and we need to stop being angry and just be nice to each other. And this movie made me feel that. I don't know. Good movie, though. I recommend it. Gotta take a drink after talking about every movie. My throat gets parched. Or I just like drinking. Let's go for the first one. As I'm about to talk about a child's movie. Turning Red. It is the newest Pixar movie. Went straight to Disney Plus, and I hate that that's happening. Luca did it. What was the other one? Turning Red has done it now. There was one more. Oh, I mean, Onward kind of went straight to Disney Plus because of the pandemic. But, yeah, we've seen a lot of Pixar movies basically going to Disney Plus lately. So excited that Lightyear's coming out in actual theaters. This movie was supposed to come out in theaters, and they switched it last minute. I was really excited to see it in theaters, and it didn't happen. Made me mad. Anyways, Turning Red. It's about a girl who finds out her family is... all the women in her family line turn into a panda at a certain age. And it's kind of it is 100% a metaphor for like growing up and going through puberty and stuff like that. And I mean, this movie even directly kind of talks about periods, which is interesting. But yeah, it acknowledges these things. And that's why I love Pixar. They're very adult movies that kids can watch. But we as adults can really like them and relate to them and latch on to them. And it's fantastic. Why do I feel like, okay, nope, my camera's on. I was scared my camera wasn't on, and I did all this for a waste of time. Do you ever get anxiety? But I have too much anxiety. Probably shouldn't be drinking, but, you know, I don't care. I'm not that bad. It's fine. I'm totally healthy. Anyways, guys, what I love about Pixar movies, what I just said, is that adults can watch these movies, kids can watch these movies, and everyone can enjoy the movies they're watching. I like that a lot. Guys, my computer's getting old, as I've probably talked about in past podcast episodes. It's getting old, and things pop up on my computer. It's annoying, but it is what it is. Anyways, guys, this is a really good movie. I love that this character goes through something like this and is turning into an adult. Her parents are very sheltered, or very much, they shelter their child. And she's lived this sheltered life, and she realizes she needs to push away from her parents, and she needs to stand up for herself, which is something, I had a very sheltered childhood in a sense. And I still struggle with that. I have anxiety going out to eat because my parents didn't like going out to eat because that costs money. I have a hard time doing things that I enjoy doing because my parents wouldn't necessarily like that. And I still struggle with telling my parents, screw you, this makes me happy, I don't care that you don't like it. It's not hurting anything. For me, you lived your life this way, it doesn't mean you're right. And I think my parents still kind of have that attitude and sense that they know what is best in the world, and they don't necessarily always know what's best. And that probably sounds childish, what I just said. But like an example, my parents have never been to concerts, really. they think concerts are a waste of money, that they sound better on the radio, that going to a concert is bad for your hearing and all that, which it is bad for your hearing in a sense, but wear your earplugs, you'll be fine. But anyways, I went to Lollapalooza last summer, and they got pissed off at that. They said that's a waste of money, that's stupid, it's a shitty way to spend 4 days off. You shouldn't have did that. And I had to realize, you know what? I had fun at Lollapalooza. I got to experience all this music. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. I hung out with my buddy that I hadn't seen in a while. I got to tour Chicago a little bit. And I'm going to go again. And I am going again. I bought tickets for this summer, and I'm definitely going to Lollapalooza this summer. And I'm going to try to go maybe a couple days early so that I can go really tour Chicago. And I am going to spend time with my buddy. And you know what? It is what it is. This movie shows you that we should enjoy the things that we want to enjoy and not let other people take away from our enjoyment of things, even if it's not what they agree with. And I liked that message in this movie. Like all the things I've been talking about today, this movie is a little long, I thought. The movie got to a point, and I was going, okay, is this about over? And there was still like 20 minutes left, which, another weird thing about this movie, there is so many end credits. There's literally like 20 minutes of end credits in this movie, which just goes to show how much it takes to make a movie like this. So many people get involved, which is why end credits are so great, which is why I stayed around for them, partially. The other part of the fact was I thought there was going to be like an end credit scene or something. That's why the movie was so long, but no, it's just long. So at the end of the day, without credits, it's like an hour and 30 minutes, I think, something like that. So maybe it's not that it's too long. I think the pacing was more of the issue for me in this movie. It wasn't exactly well paced. But it's a really good movie. I highly recommend this movie. Watch it with your kids. It really is a good movie to watch. You'll like it. They'll like it. It's a solid 8 out of 10 for me. It is just a really enjoyable movie. I related to it in so many different ways. Both as being like a sheltered child, as growing up, everything like that. Yeah, it's a really good movie. Check it out. I think you would enjoy it. I think everyone could enjoy this movie. I know there's some people that aren't enjoying this movie, and I think that's crazy. But whatever, it is what it is. Movies are subjective, and if you don't like it, that's fine. It is what it is. If you like it, well, great. I'm glad you liked it. So did I. My computer sucks. Next up, guys, I made a mistake this week. That is a very blurry image, I'm realizing. But hey, it is what it is. You don't need a clear poster for this one. Because, oh my God, Cheaper by the Dozen remake. This is like the second remake that Disney has done with an existing property that they got. First was Home Alone, and God, was that a pile of crap. And boy, is this a pile of crap. The minute this movie starts, the first thing you really see is their house with a sign that says Black Lives Matter. And I immediately went, this movie's going to get really political, isn't it? And holy shit, does it. This movie is so much Black Lives Matter kind of stuff, it's not even funny. And this movie is pretty much the exact same movie that was Cheaper by the Dozen with Steve Martin and Bonnie Hunt, except they change up little things. Like, instead of they were just a happy couple that had 12 kids, it's, oh no, we had kids beforehand, we got remarried to each other, and now we have 12 kids, which they only technically have 11. They kind of like bring in this child from one of the sisters or something, and this child's a bad kid. His mom went to prison, so now they're living with him. And instead of the father being a football player and he's spending too much time doing that, this guy is a chef, and he wants to have this sauce that is that is sweet and savory and hot all at the same time, depending on what you put it on. And he wants to go big with it and sell it and have it in every stores and such. It's literally the exact same movie. And they move, and none of the kids like the move. And, God, this movie sucks. All the characters are stupid in this movie. It gets so freaking political with things. Literally, there's a character, again, I'm not racist. I'm really not. But there's literally characters talking to just Black Lives Matter is like the big thing of this movie. And it is so in your face. And Cheaper by the Dozen is just supposed to be a heartwarming family movie. And instead we're talking about Black Lives Matter. And it just gets ridiculous and stupid. And, the acting in this movie, no one is doing a good job. Everyone sucks. This feels like a Disney Channel original movie is what it feels like. Zach Braff sucks in this movie. It just sucks. I have not a lot of positives to say about this movie. It looks bad. The editing's weird. That's what I have to say. I don't want to talk about it anymore. This movie just sucks. Political, in your face, supposed to be comedy that's not funny. That's the biggest issue with the movie, honestly. It's not funny. It's supposed to be a comedy. It's supposed to be a heartwarming family comedy. I like the original Cheap by a Dozen. I remember that movie. That's one of the first movies I saw in theaters, really. Like my first 10 movies I saw in theaters, probably. We went for a school field trip. And it's a funny movie with Steve Martin and Bonnie Hunt, and it is a heartwarming family film. Is it a perfect movie? God, no. But it's a good kids movie, one that adults can enjoy as well. If you are a child that has moved and didn't want to move, that movie makes you feel something. This movie doesn't. It goes through the exact same things, but it doesn't make you feel anything for it. You just go, oh, okay. And not only that, these kids are all brats. Just spoiled brats. And these parents talk about like they don't have money, but they all have brand new iPhones and stuff like that. And they have Xboxes and... I'm done talking about this movie. This movie's a 1 out of 10. It's terrible. I should give it a 0 out of 10, but it looks fine. It looks fine. It's just, there's narration in this movie too. I'm done. There's narration in this movie. It's stupid. I'm done. We're done talking. Next up, guys, like I said, I kind of got into documentaries this week. So one of the documentaries I also watched was the other assembled one that I hadn't seen yet. The Making of Hawkeye. I didn't have Disney Plus for a while. I had it. Back in like January of 2020, I got Disney Plus because I knew the Marvel shows were coming out. So I signed up for a full year, paid in full, so I got that discount. And I realized the only reason why I was using Disney Plus was for these new shows. So I was watching one time a week, basically paying $6 a month for Disney Plus, watching an hour a week. And I was like, this is dumb. Why am I doing this? I own most of the Disney movies because I love movies and I love collecting them. So there's no point in me. So what I decided is that I was going to wait until something actually came on Disney Plus that I really cared about. And so it expired in January from a year from 20, you know what I mean. I bought it in 2021. I take that back, not 2020, 2021. And it expired in January this year. Said, okay, there's really nothing coming on until March with Moon Knight, because not the biggest Star Wars fan. I will watch Book of Boba Fett. I haven't gotten to it yet, but I will watch that eventually and stuff. But I realized nothing really is coming until March, and that's why I signed up, and that's why I started kind of watching things on Disney Plus now, because I have it for a month and a half, 2 months until Moon Knight is over. Then I'm going to cancel again until something else good comes on there, which I think that's like summer. So I'll have a month or two without Disney Plus because I just don't need it. Anyways, guys, I don't know. I got off into a side tangent there. I'm just explaining myself, I guess. But anyways, I watched Assembled, the making of Hawkeye. Hawkeye was a show that I know not everyone really liked. I really enjoyed Hawkeye. I think it is... if I were to rank the Marvel TV shows, I think it would be WandaVision, Hawkeye, What If... maybe Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then Loki. I know a lot of people really liked Loki. I didn't love it. That last episode really sucked, in my opinion. All just exposition dump. And while it was an interesting show and I still really liked it, I just didn't love Loki as much as I wanted to. I thought I was going to love that show. It was going to be number one because I love the character of Loki. End of the day, I just didn't love it. Yeah, honestly, so far, WandaVision has just been my favorite because of how different and cool it is. And I just love the characters of Wanda and Vision. And I love their relationship. And I loved how that show really talked about grief. And I just loved it. I loved WandaVision. But we're talking about Hawkeye. Hawkeye is a show that I really did enjoy. I think the character of Hawkeye has been downplayed a little bit too much. That he's just a guy with a bow and arrow, which he is. But he is a valuable member to the team of the Avengers still. And I love that this show is set in New York. And Kate Bishop, I like her backstory. So, yeah, I enjoyed the show of Hawkeye. There was issues with Hawkeye as well, but I really enjoyed that show. Behind the scenes, it's, like I said before with the Eternals one, it's just interesting to see how a show like this gets put together. And I love watching little snippets of it, learning little things, learning. I like seeing, too, like, if these things are actually filmed where they're at. So, like, parts of this were filmed in New York, and that's really cool, and parts of it were filmed in Atlanta, and they had to recreate Times Square. That's really just interesting and cool to watch. So, yeah, there's not much to talk about with these things. It's just really interesting to look behind the scenes of things and see how they're done. As someone who loves movies and loves filmmaking, I like going behind the scenes and seeing how these things are done. And this show, this little assemble, showed me that. Gave me a nice little hour of that. Yeah, it's really interesting to watch. If you like the show of Hawkeye, you should check these things out. They are just really interesting to see how much is put into these things. I think we as people take for granted how hard it is to make these things. And it's just really interesting to see. And it gives you perspective that you might not have had before. And I really enjoy these little assembled documentaries that we're getting from Marvel Studios. So, yeah, it's like another 8 out of 10 for me. It's a really interesting little hour bit. Next up, like I said, I got into documentaries this week. This one was recommended to me by someone at the bar, a customer at the bar. She was talking about how she had watched this documentary from Pink, All I Know So Far. Yeah, All I Know So Far. Take that back. But she had been talking to me about it. She's a fan of Pink. I would say I like a lot of Pink songs. I'm not necessarily a fan of hers. But this was a really interesting documentary, both in the sense of you see her life on the road and her commitment to her craft. That is really what I took away so far. What I took away from this film. I'm not, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of Pink. I like some of her music. I would never go to her concerts until now. I saw this documentary and just realized how much she cares. There's a point in the movie where she's talking to some people in her group and stuff. She's talking about, why would people come to this show when you can't see me? I'm way up here. This is an arena. They can't see me back there. All you see is the screen. I can't connect to these people. I want to connect. And then you see what she does to make the audience connect. And she doesn't just put on a concert. She puts on a show. She's flying through the air in some of these moments and stuff. And I've become a fan. I want to go to one of her concerts now. Absolutely incredible, some of the things she's doing. And it's just wonderful to know that we have... My favorite singer of all time is John Bellion. Probably don't even know who he is because he doesn't want to be famous. At the end of the day, he cares about the fans. You've heard some of his music because he's written for Miley Cyrus and Maroon 5 and Selena Gomez and Eminem. He's written for so many people. So you've heard John Bellion's music, and you probably like some of John Bellion's music. But he cares so much about the fans that he focuses on the fans. Pink is another one of these people that I've realized she cares about her fans a lot. And it's made me a fan. It really has. I would love to see her in concert someday. I really would. The other thing that you really get from this documentary is how much she loves being a mother and how great of a mother she seems to be, honestly. maybe it is just showing what she wants us to see, but there are moments where she's being harsh on her kids and being a parent, which is great. There's also moments where we see that she wants her kids to be independent and make their own decisions. There was a really beautiful moment where her child, Willow, I think is her name, her child Willow says that she's homesick and she wants to go home and spend a week at summer camp. And Pink is very quick to go, yeah, absolutely, you can go home to summer camp. No problem at all. I know that was probably a hard thing for you to do, to ask me to leave me while I'm on tour and stuff and leave me for a week. But I'm glad you did. And absolutely, you can go to summer camp. I will absolutely do everything I can to get you in summer camp, because that's what kids should do. They should go to summer camp. They should get to spend time with their friends. And it's great that she's so open and honest with her kids and upfront with her kids. And that's what I just thought Pink was such a fantastic mom. She is not judgmental of anyone. She's not, she's just, her kids don't seem overly spoiled, while they do have everything they could want, because she is this rich singer who's been around forever. But they don't seem like spoiled brats from what we saw. Again, the camera can make you think things, but Pink just seems a very down-to-earth person. And I just really enjoyed watching this to see not only how much she cares about her kids and stuff, but how much she cares about her fans. And just everything that she does. I am a big Pink fan now. That's all I can. That's really what I'm taking away from this, is I become a Pink fan. She's just absolutely incredible. And I hope she tours soon, because I'm hopefully going to go, because I don't care how much those tickets cost. It's worth it. It's worth putting it on the credit card from what I saw in this documentary. This is a really great documentary. It shows her life on the road. It shows her as a mother. I think this documentary does everything that you could want, and it's like a perfect almost a nearly perfect documentary for me. There was a couple moments where I was wondering, why are we watching this? But then there's also just legit great moments. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Practically a perfect documentary that I think everyone should watch this movie. Even if you're not a Pink fan, look at how much she cares about her fans, about her family. It's just really great to see these little behind-the-scenes things, and I've become a fan. So, great. I think it's a really great documentary. Next up, like I said, big into documentaries. So I watched Queen's Mercury Rising. It's hour-long documentary on Freddie Mercury. This short little documentary made me hate Bohemian Rhapsody more than I already do. I shouldn't say hate. I don't hate Bohemian Rhapsody, but that movie is just not that great, in my opinion. Rami Malek does fantastic. I will say that. He's amazing in that movie. But that movie is so inaccurate and so not realistic to what actually happened. And this documentary proves that even more. Just everything in that movie is false. And Freddie Mercury was such an interesting individual. Definitely not a perfect person. I think he would have admitted that. And the thing I always tell people when talking about Bohemian Rhapsody, because a lot of people just go crazy when I say I don't like that movie. The thing I say is, if Freddie Mercury were alive today, I think he would watch Bohemian Rhapsody and go, screw that, that's not my life. That is not what happened. That is so inaccurate. I hate that movie. I think Freddie Mercury would hate Bohemian Rhapsody. I really do. I know with Elton John, the Rocket Man movie that came out in, I believe, 2017 or 2018. I can't remember. But anyways, that movie got basically, they wanted to make that movie basically after Bohemian Rhapsody and how popular it was. They wanted that movie to be PG-13. Elton John was directly he produced it and such, and he was like, you're not making me like PG-13. I didn't live a PG-13 life. I've lived a rated R life. That movie needs to be rated R. And that's why we got Rocket Man the way it is. Now, that movie did not perform as well as Bohemian Rhapsody. It should have. because that movie is by far better than Bohemian Rhapsody, in my opinion. I know everyone loves Bohemian Rhapsody. Not everyone likes Rocket Man. But everyone should. It's such a great movie, and we're not talking about that. We're talking about Queen, Mercury Rising. This is a great little documentary. It's not the best one I've ever seen about Queen and Freddie Mercury, though. It just gives you enough, and at the end of the day, what I really got from it is, damn, do I just not enjoy Bohemian Rhapsody. It's just not at all realistic to what actually happened. And it's a solid Queen documentary. It's not my favorite. It's not the number one I'd recommend. I'm trying to think what I would recommend. Maybe we'll talk about that next week. I'll look into it. What my favorite kind of like Queen little behind-the-scenes hour-long documentary is. Not my favorite. It was kind of paint by numbers. I'm kind of ready for it to end, honestly. 7 out of 10 on this one. Nothing spectacular. But if you liked Bohemian Rhapsody, I encourage you to read a book. Watch something like this that gives you the truth. Because there's so many inaccuracies with Bohemian Rhapsody. It makes me mad that the actual members of Queen that are still alive helped make that movie. And came out and said, oh yeah, Freddie would love that movie. I don't think he would. If you watch this documentary, you get a sense of who Freddie Mercury was to know that he would hate Bohemian Rhapsody. My personal opinion, I'd never met the guy. He died before I was even born, I believe. But yeah, that's that. Next up, the weirdest movie I think I've watched this week. Maybe the weirdest movie I've watched, ever. This is a musical. Adam Driver plays this weird comic. Marion Cotillard plays a opera singer. And these two are famous people that fall in love. And it's a musical. And it's really weird. Their marriage gets rocky after they have a child. And this movie is so freaking batshit crazy. It's just insane. There are things that happen in this movie. It's just weird. It's the first time I have ever seen a sex scene where they're literally singing a song. And the songs in this movie are very on the nose. To the point that when the couple's having sex, and they're literally singing, "We love each other so much," as they're thrusting into each other, and going, "We love each other so much, we love each other so much." It's weird. It's weird. It's a very artsy movie, which technically it is very beautiful looking and such like that. I don't know that I love this movie though. Like I said, very on the nose. The movie opens with this song called "We're Gonna Start the Show" or something like that. And the movie goes, "We're literally starting the show. We're gonna start the show. It's time to start the show. It's time to start. It's time to start." It's just a little too on the nose for me. This is one of those movies that you watch and you go, I like what you're going for. I'm glad you're doing things like this. More people need to take risks like this. But you striked out for me. It just, too many things are so crazy in this movie that I just couldn't get into it. It's like an hour and 20 minutes. It's way too long. Like I said, it's just batshit crazy. Their child is a puppet. It's played by a puppet movie, which is one of the things I kind of liked. But it is just batshit crazy. And the fact that their child is played by a puppet is just even more insane. And you'll understand even more why I say this movie's insane. It's a movie I think everyone should check out, especially if you like musicals. See if this is one you'd like. Personally, I found this movie absolutely crazy. But I respect the hell out of it. While I do think it's too long, while I do think it's a little too on the nose, while I think it is a little too weird, I do really respect this movie and think it is a good movie that I'm never ever watching again. But I will remember things for the rest of the time, because you can't unsee things that I saw in this movie. So a 7 out of 10 for me for this one. It's good. It's just crazy. I can't believe the things I saw in this movie. Next up, guys, let's talk about one of the worst ever freaking Marvel Studios. It's not really Marvel Studios, it's just Marvel characters. This movie, Morbius. I saw this movie yesterday. I heard things that, like, this is in the line of Venom. It's stupid and ridiculous and over the top and dumb. Venom is a masterpiece compared to this movie. This movie sucks. Oh my freaking God. I don't know where to begin with this movie. This movie opens with something that we see in the current timeline, and then it goes back in time, and then it comes back, showing that this movie has no clue what it's doing. It's messy and all over the place. And then we go back to New York, and Jared Leto has a disease, and he thinks vampire blood's going to help him. It turns into like a vampire, basically, and he feels the need for human blood. The villain is his friend from childhood that also has this disease that's mad that Jared Leto found a cure and now wants it and doesn't care that he's killing people to stay alive. Another thing that's absolutely ridiculous. If that doesn't sound ridiculous right there, Tyrese Gibson plays an FBI agent, like, trying to hunt down Jared Leto's character. This movie's stupid. It is so dumb. It is so ridiculous, so dumb. The special effects. Oh my God. I've seen better special effects in a condom commercial. It's so bad. So freaking bad. Characters are ridiculous and just, this movie is all over the place. It doesn't know what it wants to do. If you've watched the trailers, Michael Keaton's in the trailers. There's so many things that are not in the movie that are in the trailers. It's baffling. And there's 2 post-credit scenes, kind of spoiler, I guess. Those are the scenes that Michael Keaton's in, and they don't really make sense. And they do connect to the Spider-Man Marvel MCU, but they don't make sense. In the second end credit scene, Michael Keaton's in that scene, except I don't think he was actually there on set, and I think that particular scene was pretty much why this movie was supposed to come out in January, but ended up moving to April, because No Way Home came out in December, and they were like, ooh, let's try to connect this. So they really badly connected it to Spider-Man No Way Home, and there's voiceover work that Michael Keaton does. You don't see his face in the second end credit scene. You just hear his voice, and I don't think he gave a shit. He's just like, hey, you want to do this? Yeah, let's do this. This movie sucks, guys. Oh my God, is it bad? The one thing I can say, the performances are decent. Jared Harris does a great job. I forget the name of this gal now. She's fantastic in the movie. She's the best part of the movie. Jared Leto's fine. Jared Leto is a person I hate. He just is obnoxious and annoying, and I can't stand him. Matt Boomer is the one that's having the most fun. He realizes what movie he's in. So acting is about all I can say is really good with this movie. There's some decent shots in this movie. Daniel Espinosa, I think, directed this movie. He did the movie Life, which was a space movie that I thought was decent. It was an Alien ripoff, but it was decent enough. I bought that Blu-ray. I've seen it a couple times. It's a decent movie. This movie sucks, though. Oh my God, this movie's a mess. I can't recommend this movie to anyone at all. I hope we don't get a sequel. I hope Sony realizes how stupid they are when it comes to connecting universes, because they did this back in 2014 with Amazing Spider-Man 2, and it failed. And the way they're going at it with this one, they're going to fail too if they keep this up, because it's just not working out, and how they're connecting things is so stupid. This is a 2 out of 10 for me, guys. I give it for acting, and some shots of this movie look fine. That's about all I can say. Other than that, this is a movie you need alcohol to watch because it sucks. Next up, guys, is the last movie I watched this week. I just finished watching it this morning. This movie is called Red Rocket. It is about a porn star that returns home to his Texas hometown. Ends up knocking on the door of his ex-wife, I think, is who she is. An ex of his. Hoping to have a place to stay because he has no money, no nothing. Just the clothes on his back, and that's it. And this movie felt a little bit like Licorice Pizza in the sense that this is a movie about a guy that is in his 30s, I think, 30s, 40s, and he falls in love with an 18-year-old girl. And that's kind of what the movie's about. And I have the same issues that I have with Licorice Pizza in the sense that this is a child, basically. Yes, she's 18, which made it a teeny tiny bit better, but she's just on the verge of turning 18. And he's hooking up with this 18-year-old girl, and I could not get that out of my head. It weirded me out. It was a little less weird than Licorice Pizza, because Licorice Pizza is a 25-year-old girl with a guy that is like 15. He's not even out of high school, and they're falling in love, which made it weird. And it shouldn't be as weird, I realized, as I was watching it, because this is a 20-year relationship difference, and that was like a 10-year relationship difference. So it shouldn't be as weird, but it was just weirder for me. And it's not because she's a girl, he's a guy. I was asking myself that as I was watching this movie. I'm like, do I have a problem with Licorice Pizza because it's a guy that's younger and a girl that's older? And in this movie, it's a guy that's older and a girl that's younger? And I don't think that's the case. The thing is with Licorice Pizza, it's just that he's in high school. He is legit still a kid. And I guess this girl's in high school too, but like she's 18 at least. At the end of the day, it both really bugs me. This one bugged me a little bit less. And when I say little, I mean like this much less. It's so little. It just was really weird. This is from director and writer Sean Baker. He did The Florida Project and Tangerine. Both movies I didn't like, but again, I respected. And the thing about his movies that I do really like is that he always brings up a culture or a group of people that would normally not be discussed in movies. So like Tangerine, it's about trans people, which is fantastic. I like that. Florida Project was about poor people living in a hotel near Disney World. This movie is about a porn star. These aren't things that are normally brought up. What I really don't like about his movies, though, and it's in every single one of his movies, is that everyone is so freaking unlikable. Tangerine, my biggest problem, main character, is just so annoying and so unlikable. And yet we're following this, and it's hard for me to pay attention to that and want to cheer for this person. And I've had that issue with a lot of movies. That, I think, is more of a personal thing for me. I have a hard time watching a movie where our lead character is so unlikable. There's very few out there. Martin Scorsese is really just the one that does it best for me. Wolf of Wall Street. Character's very unlikable, but I love that movie. I don't know how he does it or what exactly is so different. It could be just the fact that Martin Scorsese has famous actors playing these parts, and these are actors I don't know. That could 100% be part of it. I'm not going to deny that that might be it. I don't know. But there's also been movies with famous actors that I don't know. It's something that, I don't know. I have a hard time following unlikable characters. There's got to be something there that I relate to. And in Sean Baker's 3 movies, all the unlikable characters, I just have nothing to relate to, which again is also the positive because it's showing a different group of people and different cultures and stuff like that I just know nothing about, and it's jarring to me, I think is really what it is. I'm not educated enough. But he is technically, he does fantastic. Tangerine is shot entirely on an iPhone 5, and I love that. It looks so great. You would never have guessed it was shot on an iPhone 5, but it looks fantastic. This movie also looks fantastic. Florida Project is fantastic. And this movie, and all his movies at the end of the day, are basically just lives of people. And I really, really like that. I love when we just watch a movie and we're looking at a life of a person. You know, a month into a person's life. That's really interesting to me. And so that's why I really liked this movie. But again, just every character in this movie is pretty much unlikable. There's not a lot of people that I'm like, yeah, I like you. Everyone's just kind of annoying and asshole people. And that's something I didn't like. The movie is way too long. It's like 2 hours and 10 minutes. This movie should have been like an hour 45 maybe. Should have been no longer than that. Again, technically it looks great. A lot of great things in this movie. I would give this movie like a 7 out of 10. It's good. I'm never watching it again. It's just too many unlikable characters, too many things I just couldn't latch onto. But I wanted to latch on, and I just wasn't a fan. But at the end of the day, 7 out of 10. It is an interesting movie. I don't know if I can recommend this to everyone, but maybe give it a shot. If the premise seems interesting enough to you, again, it's very similar to Licorice Pizza in the sense that an older person falls in love with a younger person. That's kind of like the main thing of the movie. And yeah. So that's, yeah. If you like Licorice Pizza, maybe check out this one. You might like this one. Now let's talk about movies that are coming up this week, guys. This week we have Sonic the Hedgehog 2. In interviews, Jim Carrey has said this might be his last movie he ever does. He thinks he's retiring from Hollywood. Jim Carrey has gotten weird over the years. Just a lot of things he comments on and gets angry about and such like that. So I don't know if that's true. If this is, I'm kind of sad. I would love for Jim Carrey to do more movies, but if this is his last movie, so be it. I saw the first Sonic the Hedgehog in theaters in 2020. It was one of the last probably 10 movies I saw in theaters. Thought it was fine. What I hated about that movie was all the product placement, Olive Garden. What I say about product placement is if you could literally cut that out of the movie and make it a commercial, it's too much. And there's literally moments in Sonic the Hedgehog where you could take it out and it's just a commercial. And that's what it felt like with a lot of things. I didn't hate Sonic the Hedgehog. I thought it was fine. I think I've seen it just that one time in theaters. Maybe I watched it one time at home. I don't know. I'll probably watch it again maybe this week if I can find it on Hulu or something like that. I think it's on Hulu. If I can find it on Hulu, I'll probably watch it again. Just check it out before the second one, because I will go see the second one. I'm not excited for this movie. I'm excited to see Jim Carrey on big screen. And if this is his last movie, I'm sad. But that's about all I got. The Sonic the Hedgehog 2, you know, I'm not a big fan of Sonic the Hedgehog, I guess. I've never really played the video games or anything like that. So I know nothing, but I'm going to go see it because I see everything. Let's talk about our next one. Ambulance, guys. This is a Michael Bay film. I'm not a fan of Michael Bay. I don't like his Transformers movies. Pearl Harbor. All his movies kind of suck. They're very mediocre. Some of them are fine. He did The Rock, I think, didn't he? I think. I can't remember. The Island he did. Most of his movies are just fine. That's my biggest problem with him. He's just fine. He seems very sexist in some of the things he's done. The way he shoots women and stuff like that is just eh. Jake Gyllenhaal's in this one, though. The premise looks interesting enough. So I'm going to see it for sure. I don't know if I'm going to see it in the first week. We'll see what happens with my life and such like that. But Ambulance come out this week. Hopefully I'll be talking about it soon. I am very hesitant. I'm hearing semi-good things about people who've already seen it. So yeah, I think this has been a long episode. I think this one's gone over an hour. Well, just about 58 minutes, guys. But that has been another episode of Codeman Movies, episode 11, I think, 12. I can't remember. I'll check it out when I'm uploading it, I guess. But yeah, guys, I hope you've enjoyed another episode. Can't wait to talk next week. Yeah, guys, I don't know what else to say. I'm not very good at outros. Have we realized that? I know I have. I know I really have to pee and take a crap. So, guys, we'll see you next time. Keep watching those movies. Keep drinking.